how we became involved in this movement of change, how we became supporters of the Obama-Biden ticket. Before I introduce our distinguished speaker today, I'd like to share with you briefly my story. I'm Robert Mirsky, a middle school teacher at Wayne School in the Erie School District. I guess you can call me Bob the teacher. I was watching the 2004 Democratic Convention when this African-American man proclaimed, "There are no red states, there are no blue states, there is only the United States of America." And with this statement, I thought to myself, that man has it right. I agree with what he's saying. Fast forward a couple years, and I find that Senator Obama is running for president. I began paying attention to the election, particularly in New Hampshire when he said, "Nothing can stand in the way of the power of millions of people calling for change." It was as if he spoke to me. He inspired me and empowered me to be a stakeholder in my country and the future direction of this country. He said, "In the unlikely story that is America, there is nothing false about hope." I'm sure our distinguished speaker today, the man from Hope, knows a little something about that. I would like to thank President Clinton for coming to Erie today. It's a testament to the strategic nature of Pennsylvania and that we need to get out and make this happen for the Obama-Biden ticket. We need to get out, knock on doors, hang door signs, and get ready for change in America. As a teacher, I remember a time when we focused on small class sizes, when there was money budgeted for after-school programs, when a prominent First Lady, Hillary Rodham Clinton, it takes a village to raise a child. I remember a time when I started teaching, when there was peace and prosperity, when we had balanced budgets and surpluses. And I know a lot of you out there say, "Boy, I wish we could go back to those days." But I have a feeling our speaker today would tell us, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't stop thinking about tomorrow. I won't stop thinking about tomorrow when we elect Barack Obama the next president of the United States. And now it is my pleasure and honor to introduce to you someone who will speak about the next great Democratic president of the United States. This is the last great Democratic president of the United States.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the great welcome. Thank you, Bob Mirsky, for being a teacher and for a supporter, and for your strong endorsement of Senator Obama. I know we had some previous speakers. First, I want to thank your Mayor, Joe Sennett, your County Executive, Mark DeVecchio, and Kathy Dahlke for your candidate for Congress. Let me just say this. This congressional seat's important tomorrow. Because we are voting tomorrow not just for a new president, but for a new direction for America. And that new president will need people in the Congress who agree that America needs that direction. So when you go tomorrow, I want you to be there for Barack Obama and Joe Biden, but be there for Kathy Dahlke. As you might imagine, Pennsylvania has a special place in my heart. I have come many times to this Commonwealth. I came here in 1992 repeatedly, starting on my very first bus trip after the Democratic Convention. And I've had rallies in Erie late at night. I've spoken in the morning, I've spoken at all hours. This is probably the most normal hour I have ever addressed the crowd in Erie. I'm grateful to you, and I'm very grateful too for the strong support that Pennsylvania gave to Hillary in the primary. And I'm making 4 stops in Pennsylvania. She's making 4 stops elsewhere, and when we finish today, she will have done 75 events for Senator Obama in the general election. I'm a piker. I've only done 40, but one of us had to go back to work. We're doing this because Hillary didn't run for president to hold a job. She ran to change the country, and Barack Obama can change our country. And I want to tell you that unless America develops an overnight case of collective amnesia, that's exactly what we're going to do tomorrow. It isn't too late for you to find one more person who doesn't think he or she will vote. It isn't too late to find one more person who's still undecided. I woke up this morning and was listening to the radio, and they say as many as 11% of the people who intend to vote tomorrow may still be persuadable. And that's what I want you to think about. Presidential elections are determined by 3 things: by culture, by conditions, and by candidates. And the culture favored the Republicans from 1968 through sometime in my second term. That is, they had a bigger political base than we did. They had 45% of the electorate that would vote for them no matter what. And we only had 40%, which means we had to be twice as good to win. And before today, from 1968 forward, the American people only turned to us twice. Once with President Carter in 1976, and then to me in 1992 and 1996. In both times, the country was in a mess. They said, oh, well, the country's in a terrible mess, maybe we ought to give the Democrats a chance. Well, the country's in a terrible mess again, but there's a difference now. This is a much more diverse country, racially, religiously, ethnically, culturally, and it's not a more liberal country, but it is a more communitarian country. Did you see Bob Mercy had a sign on that said Catholics for Obama? What does that mean? The Catholic social mission is deeply communitarian. This is not about liberal or conservative. This is about whether we're going to solve our problems and go forward, go up or down, together or on our own. We've had enough of there, you're on your own. We're going forward together beginning tomorrow. Favors us, and goodness knows the conditions do. After median family income went up $7,500 after inflation across all racial and regional lines, when I had the honor of serving, it's $2,000 lower today after inflation than it was the day I left office. After 22.7 million jobs, we'll be lucky to finish with 4.5 million. After we had a balanced budget and a surplus, we doubled the national debt to $10 trillion. And the next president, Barack Obama, will not be able to bring it down in the first year because we've got to fix the housing crisis. We had 1.5 million people lose their homes last year, 2 million people lose their homes this year, and if we don't elect a new president, 2.5 million will lose their homes next year, and it costs the economy $250,000 every time a home is foreclosed on, so you can readily add all those numbers up and see it could wipe away all the economic benefits of the financial relief package and stabilizing the banks in our country. We